In news around the world this evening, the skies over Laurel, Mississippi are clear following yesterday's tragic tornado there. The town spent most of today picking up the pieces. The twister cut a path of destruction 20 miles long and 2 miles wide, killing 7 people and leaving nearly 500 families homeless. The governor of the state says it looks more like the aftermath of a hurricane than a tornado because, in his words, everything was just flattened out. Right now, National Guard troops are standing by, as they were last night, to prevent looting after the natural disaster. Now, meanwhile, police are standing by in France, bracing for the possibility of more terrorist acts in that country. Security along French borders and at airports has been tightened following a French court's decision to give a Lebanese terrorist a life sentence in prison. Government officials say the man was given the penalty for his part in the 1982 murders of 2 diplomats. Officials say they're beefing up security because of fears of renewed terrorism as a result of the sentence. The leader of China is promising this evening to keep the door to the West open. The encouraging words come today at the start of an official visit by U.S. Secretary of State George Shultz. Shultz is scheduled to spend the week meeting with top Chinese leaders who are expected to ask them to stop selling arms to Iran as a way of cooling the Persian Gulf conflict. The Secretary of State left our country just before the Tower Commission report was released last week and has refused to discuss the issue with reporters. Still to come on Region 10 News Weekend, Dean will tell us just how long this beautiful weather is going to be with us. And Kids Corner takes a look at a boy who's certainly no dummy, but he sure can make one work. Stay with us. Tonight, St. Paul Methodist Church in El Dorado held their 4th annual chili cook-off. And as usual, there was plenty of chili to go around. Each cook spent hours preparing their own special dish. Now, there were 23 different kinds of chili to choose from tonight. And, of course, each cook had his own secret recipe.
I have a very special chili. It's got a little hot sauce in it that makes it great. That's why I bring this fire engine head along. See how it runs there? That's so we can make sure that we got it good and hot for everybody that wants some good hot chili.
About 275 people attended tonight's cook-off. Dean, I wish we could have gone. That looks like a lot of fun and good food at that.
Bet it was really good. For the 2nd day in a row, we have had sunshine, and it looks like the sunshine is going to be continuing.
That's great news.
Into probably most of next week.
Good. That's really nice to hear.
And today's the 1st day of March, and it was a great day to go outside and to go fly your kite. Look at the azure blue skies right now dominating the Region 10 viewing area. White, wispy clouds, cirrus clouds, and pretty good kite flying weather right now, except for one guy. Look at the kite in this kite-eating tree. Charlie Brown probably was having a wonderful time flying his kite, but you got to just learn to stay away from those kite-eating trees. Temperatures across the Region 10 viewing area are kind of cool right now. 49 degrees in Monroe, 43 in El Dorado, 48 in Shreveport, pretty much in the 40s above Monroe, 51 right now in Alexandria, and 50s south of Alexandria. Clear skies right now here in the Region 10 viewing area. Northwest winds is 6 miles per hour. Pressure is rising as this very nice temperatures move into our area, as the high pressure moves into our area. 30.07 right now, and 71% relative humidity. We had a high today in Monroe of 63, a low of 48. El Dorado had a high of 59, a low of 43. Let's go ahead and check the radar right now, and we can see that pretty much the entire Region 10 viewing area is pretty much clear right now of any storm system. Most of the storm system right now is on the southern tip of Florida and off the coast of New England. But other than that, things are pretty much good all the way across the country. Let's go ahead and take a look now at tomorrow's map, where we see right now 60s and 70s for the Region 10 viewing area, high pressure for most of the south, 40s and 50s for the central portion of our country, and we do have some high pressure right now over the Four Corners portion of the country. Clear skies right now in the west. Again, thunderstorms will be continuing tomorrow right now on the tip of southern Florida. Rain showers right now on the South Atlantic states, and up here in the off the coast of New England. Snow in off the coast of New England, and snow right now up in the New England states. Cold temperatures, 20s and 30s. We do have some sunshine right now for the Great Lakes area, 40s and 50s for the central portion of our country. My forecast tonight: fair skies expected, 38 for the low. Light winds. Tomorrow we can expect sunny skies for most of the day, 68 degrees for the high, and again light winds. Really nice kite flying weather, as I said earlier. Tomorrow night, fair skies, 38 for the low. The light winds will continue. Let's take a look at the extended forecast. We can see Sunny skies right now, 68 degrees for the high. Wednesday, again sunny. And Thursday, sunny skies, you can't beat that. Highs all 3 days in the mid to upper 60s. So, Melissa, it looks like we are going to be having some good weather. And it looks like great kite flying weather, but you've got to stay away from those kite-eating trees.
I've heard that they're really bad. But that weather forecast is too beautiful. I can't believe it. That's lovely.
Well, thank
you very much, sir. Well, this weekend on Kids Corner, you'll find out how one boy gets his message across one way or another. It brings us here to Junction City, Louisiana on East 4th Street. Right now, I'd like to introduce you to this week's Kids Corner reporter, Wendell Crossland. He's got a story to tell you.
I got a story to tell you about Bart Rocket, who is 15 years old and has a real dummy for a friend.
You ready to get down some serious practicing today?
This is Bart Rocket, and this is Andy. 3 years ago, Bart decided that he wanted to be a ventriloquist. What did you first think of Bart when he told you that he wanted to be a ventriloquist?
Well, he was already a magician. And I thought, oh no, here's my 12-year-old son wanting to play with dolls, you know. I saw that he was really good at it, and I thought he had the talent. And he wanted to go to Denver and adopt a real professional dummy, so we told him okay. So.
One thing led to another, and pretty soon Bart and Andy were doing shows from churches to hospitals and even competitions. Of course, everything doesn't always go smoothly.
I was on stage one time performing, and Andy's eyebrow decided that instead of raising like it was supposed to, it was going to droop down. So it started down his face, and I kept pushing it back up, and it would go down again, and we cut her act short that night.
But obviously, things go right most of the time, or Bart wouldn't have all these trophies. But ventriloquism isn't as easy as it looks. What is the hardest part about it?
Throwing your voice. Making it appear as though Andy is actually talking when it's actually coming from me.
Someday Bart hopes to use ventriloquism in his career. He's not real sure what that career will be yet, but he hopes it's in the entertainment field. Wendell Crossland for Kids Corner.
Wendell's a freshman at Junction City High School. Be watching 2 weeks from tonight for our next Kids Corner story. It just might be about someone in your neighborhood. Jenny Oliver, Region 10 News. Well, today's nice weather was just perfect for being outside, and John Willihan is up next with sports to take a look at how some local athletes spent their Sunday. Don't go away. Well, before we get to sports, I have a question for John Willihan. John, have you ever played bridge? Yeah, for you.
Oh, yeah. When I was 12 years old, me and my best friend used to run across the bridge and see who could get there the fastest.
Not
you're not talking.
John.
Oh, okay.
Card game, you know,
I guess
bridge.
I haven't ever played that kind of bridge then.
Okay, let me tell you about this.
Tell me about it. I might learn something.
You should have been at Kings Inn Convention Center tonight in El Dorado. Here are some of 200 card players who took part in today's 32nd annual El Dorado Sectional Bridge Tournament today. Now, for those of us like you, John, who are unfamiliar with the game, bridge is played with a deck of cards, and the team who can make the most tricks is the winner.
To accomplish, a win, or you play a hand real well, or you do real well.
Today's event was sanctioned by the American Contract Bridge League.
Now that we've gotten the bridge definition out of the way, for me in particular, who doesn't know much about bridge, let's talk about basketball. What do you say?
That's something you do know about.
I do know a little bit about basketball. I know the Razorbacks are going to be playing in the Southwest Conference Tournament starting next Friday night, and they were tuning up for it today. In Dallas, Texas, where the Arkansas Razorbacks closed out the regular season. They were hoping to close it out on a positive note, but it didn't work that way. The SMU Mustangs, who can no longer play football, can still play basketball. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, let's go to the action. First half, Hogs wearing red. Keith Wilson feeds to Andrew Lang. The big guy jams at home, but the Mustangs had a 1-point lead. Later on, it's SMU on the attack. Cato Armstrong with a nice three-point shot at the top of the circle. Mustangs led it by 11. But once again, it's the Stangs on the run. Armstrong comes up and jams it through with both hands in a fast break. 54-35, SMU leading at halftime. Second half, the Hogs come back. Mario Credit with a nice fall-away jump shot on the paint. That tied it at 55, 12.5 minutes left. Unfortunately for Arkansas, that's as close as they got. SMU went on to win it 93-76. Some exciting action in the top 20 today as well. 14th ranked Illinois played number 3 Indiana over at the Hoosier Dome. First of all, Indiana had some trouble stopping Ken Norman. Here he fights for position, cans a 12-foot jump shot at the baseline, 2 of his 24. Steve Alford hits 17. Kansas three-pointer there. Hoosiers are close at halftime. Illini coach Lou Henson tried to hold on to that lead. Looked pretty promising for him in the second half. Doug Altenmeyer buries a three-point shot. He had 6 three-pointers in the day. That made it 47-40 Illinois. Then they go to the fast break. Tony Weissing over to Norman here. Watch Norman fly in for the two-handed jam. Bobby Knight pulls aside number 32, says, I told you to stay back in that fast break. What are you talking about? Come on, mellow out, Bobby, mellow out. Give him a break there, pal. Must have fired somebody up, though, because watch Ricky Callaway here with a nice off-balance shot off the window. That ties it at 57, but after that, the 7-footer came through for the Illini. Yuns Kujawa hits the baseline hook. The Illini beat Indiana 69-67. Meanwhile, Kentucky was going for that upset over 12th-ranked Oklahoma. Rex Chapman gets 2 on the loose ball right there off the glass. The Wildcats looked tough early. Sooners came right back, though. Ricky Grace bombs away from three-point range. They took a 5-point lead. Eddie Sutton looking for that magic formula. Where am I going to get it, he says. Later on, the Sooners up by 1. Richard Madison misses his second free throw. Players from both sides scatter for the ball. Kentucky got possession with 9 seconds left. The inbounds pass is going to naturally go to Madison. He gets a chance to redeem himself. He does it. Kentucky wins it 75-74. Other top 20 scores. Number 2 Tar Heels breeze past Georgia Tech. The Illini again over Indiana. UNLV breezes past Fresno State 70-59. And Temple over George Washington 77-69. And also today on the women's side, the Lady Texters squeaked out a 3-point victory over Drake. Tori Harrison had 14. Paulette Stahl tossed in 10. And believe it or not, we can finally talk about something that happened outdoors for a change, like tennis. They had a big juniors tournament over at Bayou Desert today. The Coca-Cola Juniors Grand Prix. Perfect day for tennis today, finally. Here we look at the 10-year-olds. Monroe's Kirk Fisher serving in the near court here. Stuart Melton on the other side of the net. Both the little guys, they decided to play lob ball for a while as they back up, back and forth. Smiling faces looking on. And then Melton, the southpaw, makes his move to the net, works his forehand a couple of times, but then Fisher with a nice power forehand of his own coming right there as it hits the baseline. Fisher wins the match 6-4 and 6-4. Now to the 18-year-olds, Monroe's Chuck Bell is going to be receiving here. Drew Thrasher of Shreveport serving. Bell with a nice backhand that's going to force a lob, but Thrasher gets it. Bell puts it away right there with a forehand. He takes the first set 6-1, but Thrasher lives up to his name later on. He's serving here in the far court. Thrasher is going to thrash up backhand there, if you don't mind my saying so, but Bell comes back to win it by scores of 6-1 and 7-6. Some other local winners today included Courtney DeVinny, Matt Clark, and Ann Chabose. Some tennis over in Northeast today as well. The Indians lost to Kansas 5-4. First time in 6 years the Indians have lost a home match during the regular season. College baseball, Northeast Indians fell 1 run short in 12. They got beat by Tulane. Same story for Arkansas. They got beat by Hawaii 6-5 and 10. As for LSU, they took 2 from Wichita State. Finally, a couple of professional golfers took home a nice paycheck today. Lanny Watkins took home the largest of the two, $180 grand for winning the Doral Open in Miami. He finished 3 strokes better than 2 others. And finally, on the LPGA Tour, Jane Guetta won the Kemper Open by 4 strokes. That is a very good margin of victory, and everybody is excited that we could get back outside and play some outdoor sports.
I agree. It's nice to see the tennis and the golf.
The tennis and the golf and the baseball is going to be coming back here pretty quick, and I'm looking forward to it.
We all will be. Thank you. We'll be right back to tell you what your Monday morning back-to-work weather forecast is going to look like. Don't go away. Some promising artists have their work hanging in the Master Museum of Art tonight. 115 pieces were chosen for the show as a finale to the Louisiana Festival of Art. Festival officials say each one of these paintings is special.
There's such a versatility of works in the show, it's really hard to pinpoint. We've got several tremendous pieces. Even the ones that weren't prize winners, quite a few of those were very, very terrific works as well.
This is the 15th festival, and officials say they expect it to continue to grow as it has in the past. And a special fundraiser this weekend is raising money for a new animal shelter for some homeless pets in El Dorado. The fundraiser benefits the Union County Animal Protection Society. It was held at Kmart in El Dorado and featured a pet food sale, the proceeds going to UCAPS. Now, here are some of the dogs and puppies that UCAPS has available for adoption. Sadly enough, most of these animals come from irresponsible pet owners.
Of spaying and neutering in this county, people are dumping so many puppies and kittens and adult cats and dogs off on us that it's hard just to maintain the problem that's already here in front of us.
In adopting a pet, you can call UCAPS at area code 501-862-8774. And they're doing a really good job with that, Dina. I have a kitten from them that worked out very well for both of us, I think.
I have some great weather for us to wake up to tomorrow. 40 degrees when you wake up tomorrow morning, sunny skies, must be a beautiful sunrise. Not that I'm going to get up that early, of course.
Oh, come on. Thank you very much. That's all the time we have for now. Please join us tomorrow for Live at 5 and Region 10 News at 6 and 10. Good night.
Region 10 News Weekend is brought to you by Twin Cities Savings Bank.